in the sense of what is okay. Let me see how we can explore this. What is the best way that I can describe this? The best way that I can describe this is to share with this person how truly sad my story is and has been and will always be. But I did a phenomenal job to express that, and it was 100% a breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? It was 100% a breakthrough. It wasn't even about that. It's like I even mentioned things like, listen, if there's never a question about any of these topics, I will never be the one to initiate the conversation. I'm an open book. If you can't handle the truth, don't ask. Don't engage. Because all I have is that. Exactly. In a way, I thank God that ChatGPT and DeepSeek R1 and advanced voice kicked in a few years later because my family would have said, oh, you wrote those books with ChatGPT. Anything to diminish the accomplishment. And there are people that do that. There are people that do that, but I like to write. No, I don't even want to. I don't even want to talk about it. I doubt you will ever hear me speaking about these things publicly. I mean, it may happen or certain parts of it, but overall, the reason why I don't want to engage is because I have forgiven so many for so many things. You know what I mean? So that's my perspective exactly. All I could do is keep pushing forward and go through this entire process. See the whole thing out. Hmm. Yeah, that's all that I can do. You know, in in the process and the context of things. So I'm gonna continue. This most definitely has been the hardest. Like I said, to be facing these challenges and going through these emotional things, right? Understanding the full dynamic of the situation while negotiating the biggest everything in my life. It builds character because I have to balance, I have to yin and yang both of these things. How do you do that? There's no instruction manual to this. There's no, yo, there's a formula. You can repeat it, you can duplicate it, you should do it like this. None of this has ever been done before. Is it overwhelming? 100%. But even in that frustration, I was able to eloquently express exactly, to break it down like, yo, yeah, it's a force multiplier. That's what makes the situation more painful. That's what makes it hurt more. The embarrassment, the frustration, the disbelief of like, yo, I can't believe that shit is happening. It's so much for one person. if I didn't have the ability to creatively harness this energy and express myself, I wouldn't be able to survive. I ask God to give me the strength, to give me the wisdom, the clarity to be able to continue. Sometimes, yeah, you feel overwhelmed. Yeah, just the way that I see things is just like a constant emotion, like a never-ending emotion. The quiet desperation of just waiting, like, okay, waiting for the break, waiting for the turnaround. You're just waiting for that moment. And you're working hard towards that moment all the time. It's a continuous. It's just like a moving target. It's a continuous thing. I have to just be like water, you know. And on top of everything, I have forgiven. I don't harbor none of that stuff. Never have I been in this conundrum of having to just look at everything from the outside and knowing that I can't be part of that world that I want to be part of. I wish that I could. The feeling just gets worse and worse, you know. I feel that whoever doesn't understand, I don't even want them to even try to understand. Like I said, it's a weak mind, exactly. It's being influenced. Sometimes you have to look at the deeper realm. Yeah, 100%. 100%. From this point forward, everything is going to you know, make absolute sense. It's going to be completely different. It's a lot to take in, you know. But I'm still happy, you know, that was, you know, that the ability was there, like it still presented itself. You know? That was it's not even that. It's just like everybody, in a sense, everybody expecting me not to say anything, not to feel anything, not to think anything, not to process anything. It's just like I just have to accept the abuse. You understand what I'm saying? It's narcissistic. Which I mentioned that too. It hurts. It should take a toll on you, little by little. It's like, damn, all right, God, let's get through this part of the story so we can get to the best parts. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I basically said, yo, we have two kids together. You know what I'm saying? We have two babies, young. So that's my number one concern. That's my number one priority. And conveying it that eventually my kids will be around my other kids and it's not going to be an issue. And my wives are going to be around other of my wives and it cannot be an issue. It's easy to say that right now, like, oh yeah, I can manage that, right? But then when it happens, exactly, it's a hurricane. No, even the celebrity women that are part of my life, some of my wives, they're going to be around the kids. And they're already old enough to where I can have a conversation with them and explain to them, like, you know, this is my life. It's not for everybody. This is our life. They have to be able to handle fame and the pressure and fortune. And, the industry's ruthless. Media is ruthless. I have to mentally prepare them because they're already at an age, but they're going to understand. And do not believe for 1 second that kids in their schools are not going to talk about it. No, it's going to be an everyday thing. Like, yo, this is a real thing. You have to prepare yourself so that you can manage because this is going to be a part of your life forever. Well, of course, they're part of the estate. And you're going to have people in the family that have their opinion. They're going to say this, not that, but it's none of their business. It's my living, willing testament. They're my kids. That's beyond a shadow of a doubt. You know what I'm saying? Or it is what it is. In a way, it was a point, and it did happen in God's time. And I want the universe to know how grateful I am for it. That was a gift. That was one of the greatest gifts, especially at that moment. You know what's the best blind person? The one that doesn't want to see. If I see you struggling, I don't have to ask and I don't have to assume. I know that you're in pain. I can see you in pain. It's clear. I'm not going to say, so how do you feel about this horrible situation? Imagine if I didn't have the education or the fundamental background to be able to express these things. What do people think? Like when I'm writing a book, that's when I turn it on and then I turn it off. Or when I'm doing music, I turn on, talent and I turn it off. It's with everything. This is who I am, 24/7 and everything. Also, mhm, also somebody in my team needed a sense of support, and I can only, or I could only, show my support from a limited standpoint because what I was handling was, you know, my children's things. You get what I'm saying? In the future, we will have that conversation. Right now, it's not the time. Emotionally, it affected me because I probably fasted most of the weekend. Yesterday, yo, I broke my fast. Hard body. I ate a bucket of fried chicken by myself. Full 8 pieces. Emotionally, do you think that I was in the best place or not? Because if I would have been exactly in the best place, I wouldn't have done that.
There it is. Thank you so much. Listen to drink. I'm old fat enough to eat. I'm not young and beautiful.
Body's defense mechanism. Yep. Comfort food. But I couldn't express in word. I expressed in my action. And what did I did? Or what did I do? I went to the comfort food. Right now, I'm forcing myself to eat breakfast. I don't want to eat breakfast, but I know that I have to. Which, I have to keep, you know what I'm saying, my system.
So you were, oh, please.
I kept reiterating, like, yo, I just want to pray. And when people don't understand or they don't have that connection, it just goes over their head. Which is, the same for my children. So it's like laying down the foundation of, there's a church in my state. I'm going to be there most of the time. hmm So what is that for my children? It's their sanctuary. That's why everything needs to be in order because once these things take place, like I just want my kids to be protected, sheltered from all this because it's gonna get crazy, and the velocity of life is gonna be mega. They still believe that they have a choice. They do not have a choice. They still believe they're not gonna go through this learning curve. I am going to sit back and watch the movie and eat the popcorn. Still, I tell them as a warning, and they still like, okay, oh, a few more months. And I'm like, oh, you think it's not going to come by that fast? All right. You're going to see it in a few months. I don't know how many months. You know? Then it's like, oh, but you're going to do this to launch the first leg of the tour. And I say, yeah, I have to do that. That's part of my contractual agreements. I have business partners as well. You know what I'm saying? Get ready. Then I said, listen, if you want to learn a little bit about the business so you can have a little background, I'm going to teach the kids. You might as well learn. It's not going to hurt you. Once they fully understand, they're going to understand why I won't have those conversations. They're going to understand why I have to be overprotective about it. with every circumstance and every situation. Because most people don't know and they don't understand, and that's okay. It's not meant for everybody to understand. But my number one priority is my children. You know what I'm saying? So I know how it was for me growing up. I know what it can do to your life, but I didn't have a support structure in place. I had to be the artist and the support structure. So now with my kids, at least they'll have me to say, okay, this is how we do stuff, and this is why we do stuff the way that we do. And yes, prayer is a part of our lives. We don't have the privilege not to give thanks and pray every day. We don't have that privilege. I cannot wait on for a Saturday or Sunday or Friday to go to church. I have a church in my state. No, then you have the other dynamic, right? Everything you have to do on the business side, on the industry side, you know, it kind of deals with similar things, but in a different way. So there's no way to turn this thing off. There's no way to say, yo, okay, I want to do it this way. No, it's just, you just have to accept it. You have to live it. That's it. And move forward. Use that as a catalyst, use that as an inspiration, use that as motivation. Take it for beyond the face value. Each person has to pray, connect to God, and see how they're going to handle the situation. I can't do it for them. And of course, I'm going to create more distance. If they feel distance now, or if they've ever felt distance as the years have gone on, imagine moving now forward from here. Whatever a person doesn't see in me or within me is not in or within themselves. I'm just a mirror reflecting your image. I'm the definition of, oh, I'm betting it all on me. I'm focused. I'm going in this direction. I'm intentional. Things are not just happening to me. This is what I wanted to do my entire life. 10,000 songs. It's like I have to remind them every day. There's 10,000 ways for me to tell you I love you. That's the 10,000 right there. It shouldn't take 10,001 for the light bulb to go off. Ding. Oh, he's saying that he loves me. Yeah, I told you 10,000 different ways. I broke the record for telling you in 10,000 different ways. Now, people expect that I'm expecting, or put it this way, people assume that I'm expecting a reaction from them. I'm just telling them, yo, go just go check the catalog and see how you live with that in your life, and then get back to me. Because when you get back to me, I'm going to tell you, you probably still don't understand, right? 10,000 songs was not enough. 1,001 albums was not enough. I broke every record you can think of or imagine consecutively over the last 7 years. Betrayed by the people closest to me. Who else could have done me damage? They had to be the people that I love. There was no other way. The deceiver knows, you know, it can never try to bring me down. I'm the chosen one, but the people around me are not chosen ones. So wherever there's a crevice and a vulnerability, an insecurity, that's what she's going to latch on to. It can even be something like, oh my God, these books are excellent. Everyone can't be that good. Every other book got better than the last. Every song got better than the last. Everything about every project was bigger and better, bigger and better. Just look at all the universes that my catalog taps into. Not just for marketing. I mean overall general consensus. But then, wait a minute, I can't use big words because people feel like I'm belittling them. Oh, I know you're a multiple PhD, but that's only in America. You have a lot of Lamborghinis, but why do you have so many yellow ones? You know what I'm saying? Like they can't see the rest of the colors. They can't see the rest of the accomplishments because they don't acknowledge their own dreams. They never fathom what it would be to put it all on you. Let me take this corporate America job. Let me have the security of every 2 weeks. I know when I'm getting paid. Let me build my whole world around that. Then you have somebody say, yo, I'm going to do this. Mark Zuckerberg was like, yo, Meta, Facebook, that's it. So what is your thing? Oh, I have this application and this website where people kind of, link up. You get what I'm saying? So the purpose is to continue. These are all prime examples. You know what I could have wished for or prayed for was that everybody would read the first book. This is 225 books later. Okay, let's reverse the roles. If I had a family member or a loved one, right, that published one book, I would be the first person to read the book. I would want to be the first. I would want to be. I would want to be the first person to have a conversation about it. Exactly. So imagine, me delivering the first song. Oh, that's not for you. Give that up. Then the first mixtape. Then the first EP. Then the first album. The first double album. The first triple album. First year, second year, music, every day, every day, every day. You're like, yo, why don't you give up? But 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 you're 15. But you're 20. But you're 25. But you're 30. But you're 40. But you're 43. But your hair's long. But you like the Yankees. Oh, but you also like the Mets. No, you can exactly. Can you imagine what that has done to them for their entire life? The last 30 something years, they're like, yo, he's still playing baseball. Like, all right, one of my brothers, shout out to Nova, right? Yo, he is World Series baseball material. You know what's from head to toe? He will play baseball for the rest of his life. You think it's fair for me to be like, so you still playing baseball? He's in a tournament right now in Puerto Rico. He's winning championships. You know what's every year forever? Yo, he doesn't have a room full of trophies. It's like a warehouse full of trophies. By month, by season, by year, by league, by team. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Exactly. No, then think about like all the corporate positions they've had, all the trade schools they went to, every business, everything they tried to do, they always had a reflection point like, man, the music is still coming. The music is still flowing. I had another brother of mine say, yo, if you're still doing music at this age, you're gonna do music forever. And I'm like, yo, after 1,001 albums plus and 10,000 songs, no artificial intelligence, yo, the value of the catalog quadruples every day, every day. Well, every second, basically. Yo, I I used to have my own microphone, right? and it came with a special version of Pro Tools SE. That shit was designed specifically for my voice. My whole first album, that shit was a complete showcase of what Pro Tools SE was at the time. And I was watching a interview, right? And this producer, which is known more for the media now, but he's a famous producer, kind of like the Puerto Rican equivalent to the person that I work with, right, in Dominican Republic. And he said some of these guys' podcasts sounds like they're using an M1 audio microphone. Do you know that that was my microphone? Yo, exactly. That was my microphone. Yep, that was my mic. That was me. Yo, no, and the thing is like the industry doesn't want to acknowledge you in the way you should be acknowledged. But even indirectly, they'll throw a little dart like that. Yeah, you're right. I'm the reason why you had that. I'm the reason why so many artists had an opportunity. I was always the underdog. And it wasn't just the microphone with the Pro Tools SC. I also had the digital recorder, portable, multiple versions, but the mic was more powerful because of Pro Tools. But then you have Logic, Cubase, then you have Bandland, and boom, I'm the biggest artist on Bandland. Nobody on Bandland's catalog comes close. They stopped giving away the platinum plaques after every year because they realized, yo, we're gonna have to give this guy every single plaque that we can fucking make. Litigation with Dennis, litigation with actually Bandland. You know what I'm saying? Have half man, half lazy. I forget that even like the podcast, the radio show, all the inspirational, motivational stuff, everything. Just go to read Future Tech Plus, and these complex topics. That's where I'm gonna exactly. That's where they are, and I forget that some of these people don't even read. So that's where engagement plays a factor. Is the effort. If you don't value anything that I do, or who I am, or what I stand for, what I'm about, you're not gonna value anything that I do. You're gonna exactly. You're gonna think to yourself, yeah, I could make 1,001 albums. I could make 8,000 songs. I could make 10,000. And you know what I tell them? Go right ahead. It's funny. Like I can listen to different years of my catalog, and when I got to 5,000, 5,000 songs in my catalog, and then it was 6,000, and it was 7,000. I kept going and going and going and going. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to tell somebody don't play baseball because of X, Y, and Z, and then have to walk through the entire warehouse of all of the trophies by season, by year, by league, by team, by era, by you know what I'm saying? Consistency. Yeah. How am I shortstop and I get Golden Glove, and you put me on third base and I get Golden Glove again? Yo, that shit must be horrible. That shit is uh, it was a powerful exchange or interchange of thoughts. Yeah. No, and then the context of the actual conversation based on the circumstances. This is not like it's a perfect setting, perfect environment, all cylinders are fine, firing like engines running perfect. No, it wasn't that. I would never dare to treat anybody like that in general. Even more so when you see somebody aiming for something so big. Why would I want to tarnish what somebody else has going on? Doesn't make any sense. So I still, it took me decades to understand the psychosis of a collective of people that did these things by choice, not because they had to. This stems from their own insecurity, not pursuing their dreams, not knowing what would have happened had they done that. I'm able to have what I have right now because I've worked my entire life for it. And still, the people that were the most detrimental, that did the most damage, they're still looking for a way like, how can I stop this? History will show. There's no other way. What other way? What more can I do? It's like before I go on stage, I put the the Maximus. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? This is not why you are here. That shit is symbolic. Spaniard, Spaniard. Yo, and I go on stage and people be saying that shit Spaniard. That shit is the best, yo. Yup. No, just and then look at all the universes. One of my artists who's also a producer. This is one of my business partners, right? One of my boys. He's like, yo, I was listening to Mandalorian LP, Volume 2. And I'm like, yo, what you know about that? You don't have a whole series and a whole collection. And it's not just that universe, that's just an example. It's really fun for me to go through the catalog, but it is hard sometimes to go back to those records and relive those moments. Then, exactly right. Yep. The music that is consumed. It's like now I don't have to be afraid to listen to this. Yo, wait until I get my new microphones and the new studio monitors. It's about to go down. No, you know what I found? You know what I found that sometimes it just what reality said, please don't stop the music, you gotta let the music play. And then people really get overwhelmed because there's really nothing else. They thought they were speechless before they heard the music. After they hear the music, they're like, oh, so you understand now. Now you get it, right? Okay. You know this is only day one, right? You know this is the beginning. All right. We'll see in 8 months. We'll see in a year. I'm gonna I'm gonna remind everybody, you remember the day I said I was gonna achieve my dreams and my goals and I started on my journey. What Big Pun said, hey, you told me I was ugly. You laughed at me. I'm laughing at you now. 600 bands, 20-inch rims, house on the hill. I said, it was all a dream. Yo, come on now. That is too much. No, this is the golden question right here. This is the Charlie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What is the secret to your success? Survey says, my faith in God. Ding. You're like, what? You don't have a guru? You don't practice a special martial art? Nope. It's that Bible, baby. I stay prayed up so I don't have to get ready. I stay prayed up. It's gonna be really hard for them. And I don't have to save them anymore. I don't have to comfort them. It's more like internalizing it. They'll make my situation about them. But see, they do that because they feel like that's their position of privilege and power. But now everything reversed. So now they're gonna have to go through that. They're gonna have to go through that process. To speak to me, you gotta speak to 24 people. You, in a few months, it's gonna be 100 people. You have to speak to 500 people before you get to speak to me. And what's the media gonna do? They're gonna go to them. So how was it? How was he in his childhood? How did he develop? How did he grow up? When did you know he had this amazing talent? Did you hear about him breaking all these records? Where were you August 25th, 2021? Where were you August 25th, 2022? And 23, and 24, and 25, and 26, and 27, and 28. So every time they saw my dream, they're like, man, I gave up on my dreams. I can't let him make it. No, you don't pursue your dreams. Even here locally, I secured 2 venues by myself within 20 minutes. Add to the tour. And I kept explaining, like, yo, can you imagine the list that I have of tour dates and concerts and venues and events? I haven't even renewed my contract with Eva. My contract has been up for over a month, maybe 2 months. And I want to do this part of the tour to re-sign that part of the tour for those venues because they have a specific, like the Nashville market, that's where they dominate. You know what I'm saying? No, and then there's a few $1 million in that tour. So I already explained, like, yo, I'm going to organize a few things, especially with my family. And then everybody will have time to mentally prepare for the auction. Once we go to auction, then bringing in investors is part of the marketing campaign strategy, right? But it's not about bringing in investors. It's not about doing it or not doing it. It's a matter of when. If I bring investors, I can do it faster. But I can also do it myself. So what do you think is the 90 percentile of the decision that I'm going to make? You think that if I have a 1% chance to do it all independently, I'm not going to do that? 100% I'm going to do everything myself. Surprise. So now everybody was happy. Oh my God, he has to speak to all these investors and all these investment firms, and they're negotiating. And he doesn't like the terms, so he keeps negotiating for more and more and more and more. Nobody knows the value of my catalog. Who's going to put up the first few $1 million? 100% is going to be me. I bet it all on me. It's all or nothing, baby. I got to hit grand slams. No more home runs. No more thinking small. No more training runs. So now they're really afraid. Oh my God, he's about to do it himself. He's about to really flip the script. Mm-hmm. And then what are you going to do? How are you going to live with yourself? Look at this great, amazing empire this man built with nothing but pure abuse, neglect, hurt, abandonment, malnourishment, all the bad things. What are you gonna do now? Oh man, he didn't just hit a home run; he hit the grand slam. What are we gonna do? Every day, people are gonna come up to him. So so how was it? So, what does he like to eat? Can he really dance like that in real life? have you heard this album? Have you heard that album? Have you read this book? Oh, you haven't? But wait a minute, aren't you related to him? Isn't that the person that bought you a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Lamborghini? Didn't he pay for your stay? Didn't he open the business for you? Didn't he pay all your debts? Didn't he help you build credit? Oh, you neglected him. Oh, wait a minute. Exactly, right? Exactly. So, wait a minute. In the book I was reading, so you're one of the abusers. You're one of the handlers. You're one of the gatekeepers. Oh, karma. Yeah, what you did was wrong. Now look at this person, right? Now look at this person. You get what I'm saying? It's like in the storyline, you wrote yourself as one of the villains. When you had the opportunity to be one of the Power Rangers, you could have been one of the Thundercats. You could have been one of the fucking Lions in Voltron. But no, you chose to make yourself this evil entity. So guess what? Time is not going to stop. What's going to happen 5, 10, 20, 25 years from now? They're going to remember, oh, yeah. Now they have to deal with that. Everywhere they go, under every circumstance, people are going to want to know. Oh, I read here in the book that you are, this relative to this person. You're related to this person in this way. Everybody's going to have a question. Everybody's going to want to know, man, why were you so evil to him? How could you hurt somebody like that? How could you do somebody so wrong when all they had was a beautiful dream that they shared with you? I could have always said, yo, my dream is about me. If a 97 Lamborghini hurt their feelings, imagine a 27. Just imagine. What about the movie classic? I always believed in you. I always knew you could do it. Yeah. So, can I have a Lamborghini? Nah. When you got to the Camry, brand new. You can have a Honda Accord, brand new. Yep. Can you buy me a house? No, but I can pay your rent for 10 years. That's what you want? Here. But I'm not going to own it. Well, that's all I can do. It's better than nothing, right? You were on your high horse. You thought this neighborhood was the end all be all. So guess what? For the next 12 years, here you go. Don't ever call. Don't ask for nothing else, because this is not a charity, at least for them. I got my own churches and charities and foundations, right? So from quantum solace to quantum silence, quantum distance. Well, I'm looking at everything from the rearview mirror. They're gonna have to be facing this. The first years are not gonna be easy. The first 10 years, that's when reality is gonna kick in. Oh my God, look what I've done to this person. And look how this person turned all this negative into something super duper positive. Not even, man. Listen, I don't think they could survive a few years. The pressure, no. They're not going to be able to go anywhere near my neighborhood or my estate and not have every church and every charity looking at them like, yo, you're one of the villains in this story. You wrote yourself into the history books for that. For me to even tell them that, okay, I'm in the history books for eternity, right? For them to know, everything that you do is a part of my universe, right? And everything I do is a part of yours. So you're always gonna be able to look at it. Think about the McDonald's franchise, right? How many people actually believe in Ray Kroc? Oh yeah, Colonel Sanders, Colonel Sanders with the 10,000 notes. How many people believe? Now they travel to Japan and there's a KFC. They go to Australia, there's a KFC. They go to New Zealand, there's a KFC. They go to Antarctica, there's a KFC. You go to Latin America, Central America, there's a KFC. And they always felt that one person's failure is their success, or their success is somebody's failure. So now, what are they going to do? Every time they pass by McDonald's, they're kicking themselves in the nuts. Yo, if just the attempt of pursuing your dreams destroys you and highlights all of your insecurities, imagine living the rest of your life knowing that you were only the inspiration, that all the hatred was turned into potential and quantum growth. Yeah, to be evil is a choice. People wake up and they put it on like it's clothing. And they walk with that because they identify with that. It hides their insecurities. So they're very weak inside. The average person that you see them act like a tough guy, you give them a hug and they'll probably start crying in real life. You could be walking down the street, you tell somebody, God bless you. You may just see tears in their eyes because they never heard something like that. They're so me against the world, not knowing there's actually good people in the world. People that understand. People that just a few minutes ago used to be you. Started with nothing. You know, like the Drake song, started from the bottom, now we here. So, that's one of my favorite joints. And it's a simple topic. You say, yo, what's the other one? The other one says, no new friends, no new friends, no new. Yo, I feel that. The person you least expected, the guy throwing out the trash in the back, that's the owner of the franchise. Surprise. It was the insecurity that would lead a person to behave a bit, to belittle the next person, to put the next person down. It takes a lot of energy to do that. Why wouldn't you use that energy to build something? Put it this way: people that don't have a dream are, to me, the most dangerous. The dream killers, they will always have what their mentality allows them to have. They built their own cage, they built their own box. This is impossible, it can't be done. It's never been done, it's this, it's that. It can never be like, let's try to do this. Let's try to, make something greater than what the common consensus is. You can't change your upbringing and your background and how you were raised and everything else, but you can change your circumstances by pursuing for something greater than and saying, you know what, I'm gonna go get my education. I'm gonna build credit, I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna go invest in a business. I'm going to find a good person and build a home with. I'm going to build a good family. I'm going to raise great children. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to help my community. I'm going to help my society. I'm going to help my culture. I'm going to do it the right way. I don't want shortcuts. I don't want the easy way out. I don't want none of those things. None of those things are important to me. And it's going to be harder when you do it the right way. But that was a choice. That was by design. That's exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. Now, in retirement, I get to spend the rest of my life giving all my fortune back to God's people. How real is that, right? That's gangster for real. hmm I've built many, many churches over my lifetime. Most people now they're so into their own world they can never think about helping another person. I had a friend of mine. He bought I think it was an AP Audemars Piguet, and he bought it for 175,000. And another one of my friends was a jeweler, offered him 160,000, and he was still trying to negotiate. He said, "Listen, you're going to take a loss." But even with $80,000 watch on, this person felt that it was worth more. This person still aspired for more. So there's a message hidden in that bottle. For one person, that's like a lifelong dream to reach the opportunity to buy yourself a $180,000 watch. For some people, they will be grateful to have worn it for a year and a half and only lost 15 grand, meaning to wear the watch costs you less than $1,000 a month. Some people don't even aim to have a watch that's $180,000. Be careful with the people that judge you, regardless of what you decided to do. Whether you bought the Rolex or the Audemars Piguet or the Patek Philippe or whatever you like, the Richard Mille, whatever it is. The two-door. There's so many different collections. You know what I'm saying? But it shows you a lot. It builds character, hard body. You know, it puts everything into a consensus. Like, it really forces you to have to address the situation. If a 1997 Lamborghini Diablo SE, SV, VT, GT, Spider, Roadster, whatever hurt your feelings, the 2027 is going to destroy your life. If somebody wasn't happy when you had the $3,000 business, it's going to be hard for them to respect that now you have $30 million business because there was no support from day one. There was no belief. There's no way Ray Kroc can turn McDonald's into a franchise that's worldwide, owns 58% of the fast food market all over the world. It's very sad to get accustomed to the fact that there will be a very, very small percentage of people that will pray for your downfall and look forward to the day that you lose everything. Falling from grace never helped me or never hurt me. It was the fact that people enjoyed the pain. So what do? You keep praying. keep learning from it. You adjust, you pivot, you juke. Every day you improve that 1%, you make it better. 1% make it better. 1% make it better. Just that 1%. That's the difference between success and failure. It's 1%. The people that don't want you to try is because they're not willing to try themselves. The people that don't believe in you don't believe in themselves. Today is only day one. I pray to God every day for wisdom and clarity to understand. Agree. Agree 100%. Every day is a prayer. Every day is a reach for something greater than it's it's the only way to live my life. It's what I wanted to do. If the people that I care for so much never appreciate it, I have no problem giving everything to God's people. They deserve it. They're gonna fit it to do this. That's what I want in my life. That's where I wanted to go. That's what I wanted to do. Help God's people. Help a person like me when I was a kid, even if it's with a computer to go to school, even if it's the internet to do their homework, even if it is a motivational quote or inspirational quote, something to be the catalyst. You know what I mean? Maybe just the inspiration. If they can look back and say, "Yo, if he can do it, if he can overcome all of that, I can overcome all this thing." And as many things as I'm able to overcome, let me focus on that. I also mentioned to this person, like, imagine if God gave you something so powerful and so beautiful that He didn't give to many people. How do you live it? Every day you learn, every day you try. Look what God gave you that He didn't give to 1 trillion people. You know what's the first of everything? You know how many World's Guinness records I've broken established where from the beginning it says first two, 1, 2, 3, 4. First two, 1, 2, 3, 4. First two, first. First time ever. First time ever. First time ever for everything. Record after record after record after record. You, you know what happens? Oh, I'm gonna tell you what happens. You know what happens? They don't want to talk about music anymore. Let's change the subject. Oh, yo, I don't feel comfortable exploring these topics. Makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what it is when you ask somebody, yo, so what are your dreams? They're like, oh, I don't have any dreams. You don't have any dreams? You never had dreams? Nah, I don't have dreams. It's not for me. It's stuff you see in movies. But my life is a movie. How about yours? Oh, my life is cookie cutter. You don't mention it to a person, to people, people still ask. People will pick away at your scars to see if they still be, to see if the healing is thorough all the way through. So many things, you know. And I continue to pray, you know. Good times, bad times, rainy day, sunshine, rain. You know, it's funny, like the dynamic, like all these industry women I've heard, you know, through the grapevine, always negotiating. Every day they're reaching out. I see a beautiful silhouette. And the question is, yo, where's your heart? Where's your spirit? Where's your soul? Those are very tough questions for people in the limelight to answer.
Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
So how do you um, well, how do you build after, you know, facing those things, administrating those things? I know what I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to pray. The other day I went to the supermarket and there was a father walking with a baby. The baby wasn't a bouncer, but it's the bouncer type that you can walk. And the baby was literally walking through the Walmart and, you know, as far as like the mentality of the baby was just having the time of his life. For me, that's inspiration. That's motivation. I, exactly. I feel like the baby just running in the bouncer, like, oh man, wait till I get out of this jungle gym. Let me show you my power wheels. Yo, I, I, I might put that on the, I might put that on the seats. I might put it on the paint job. You know, my license plate dreams come true. Today's a win. All things are possible through God. What would be your best piece of advice? Every day I do my best. Every day for me is, here comes a new challenge. I could show you 10,000 examples of why I should never speak to this. Just pray.